I had a great childhood. 18 years in the same house on Silver Lake Road. The heart of one of Columbus, Georgia's nicer suburbs. My parents worked hard at their office jobs, providing a comfortable lifestyle for both me and my younger sister, Cynthia. Our two-story home gave us plenty of room growing up. When me and Cynthia were younger, we made it our own playland. And as we grew older, we had enough personal space while still maintaining a close relationship. And deep down, I was comforted knowing that our bedrooms were right across each other in the upstairs hallway. I knew Cynthia was within walking distance at any time we needed sisterly therapy. Honestly, I was glad to have her around. She was my support system, the best friend that I never had in school. Not that I was ugly or crazy. Cassie Barrow was a pretty young woman. Okay, maybe not flashy or Instagram hot, but I had a cute face, smooth Latina skin and big brown eyes. So what if I was too skinny? I still had style and sarcasm to spare. I liked to dye in my hair different colors or blazing my own fashion trail. From emo hoodies to classy dresses, maybe my constant changes in style put off my peers. Or maybe, as my mom would say, I was too strange to attract guys. She always told me I should be more approachable and social. Yeah, sorry mom, that wasn't going to happen. Cynthia was a little bit different. She was the outgoing one, always smiling, always bright. Long black hair and a kind face. She was pretty and never tried to hide her natural beauty behind conformity or rebellion. Cynthia could captivate you without even trying, without wearing excessive makeup or expensive clothes. And like a teenage therapist, she had a way of making everybody feel better. Not to mention she was pretty damn smart. Her and I at least had that in common. I was proud of Cynthia, I really was. And considering how lonely high school was, I knew that Sin would always be there for me. A steady beacon of hope in my isolated life. Of course, I also did my part playing the older sibling. I looked out for Sin as best as I could, and I helped her with her own problems. Especially all the drama and boy issues that frequent during those middle school years. Regardless of her 5-year age gap, Cynthia and I stayed close. All the way up until I left home for college. Alone and away in Atlanta, I got even lonelier, depressed. I knew that I would miss my parents and Cynthia. I just didn't know how helpless I'd be without them. I thought that college would be different, you know. I thought people would be more open and I would meet Prince Charming on campus. But it wasn't meant to be. I was still crazy Cassie. Still no boyfriend, no parties, no close friends. No one like Cynthia. I dropped out after my sophomore year. Call it homesick or disenchantment disease. The reality was I had a mild breakdown. And after a short stint in the hospital, I was cleared to go back home. I was better now, but still, I don't know. I was still alienated. Here I was at 21 and I already felt more jaded than a 45-year-old divorcee. Of course, my parents are pretty pissed that I came back, but at least they understood. They wanted me to be happy above all. I promised that I would start taking classes at Columbus State that fall. I wasn't excited about it, but maybe being closer to home would let me concentrate on my studies and figure out what exactly I wanted to do with my life. But over spring break, I had plenty of time to myself. Freedom from the prison of the Atlanta dorms. I could now work on my stories and novel in comfort. Even as I battled my anxieties, I knew that I had my parents' support, and not to mention Cynthia's too. Cynthia was now 16. Her and I still got along even as Thin began doing more teenagey things. I mean, she was the more social and traditionally attractive of us after all. And not to mention she was active with soccer in different clubs over at Columbus High. Yet she still found the time to talk to her eccentric older sister. As weird as it sounds, her friends became my friends. And not because they wanted me to buy them alcohol either. For once, I actually felt included in a clique. But like a sanctuary, I still spent most of the time in my room. I was glad Mom hadn't changed it much. Even my drawings and Panic at the Disco posters still hung on the walls. Not to mention my huge library still remained intact. When I wasn't hanging with Cynthia, I spent that summer reading and writing in my room. Much like I had done at the hospital, to be honest. Our house's bedrooms were all pretty big, so I had plenty of space. Several windows offered me a nice view of our suburban landscape. I even had room for a large desk in addition to the bed. And a nice walk-in closet contained my smorgasbord of strange clothes. The rest of the house was clean and spacious. Mom did her best to divvy up all the framed pictures between me and Sin, not to mention her favorite showed us both of the day I graduated high school. This one was framed like a cherished antique in the living room. Not an easy feat considering Dad's excessive New England Patriots gear overtaking the room. I never left the house much. Honestly, I only left my room just to spend time with Cynthia and her crew. Unlike my bedroom, Cynthia's walls were painted bright pink and other warm colors. She even kept photos of us on her shelves, even on her beloved Xbox. I just felt welcomed in there. But during that summer, I had another reason why I preferred Cynthia's bedroom, especially at night. On my first night back, I heard the man's voice. He talked low at first, just a casual whisper. The whisper cut through the silence of my dark bedroom, and then like lights dimming for a play, cold air hit me. I couldn't sleep. Unease and my own crippling anxiety sunk into my flesh like sharpened hooks. I could never tell what the man was saying. All his words were jumbled up, a free flow of frenetic cries. I just knew that his voice was deep and coming from under my bed. The man was unrelenting. I heard his voice all the way until sunrise. At first, I played dumb. I tried to tell myself that I was just imagining things, that there was no whispers. There was nothing under my bed. Maybe my wild emotions had finally caught up to me. But the man didn't stop there. He only got worse and more persistent. In a nightly concert, the deep tones swept through my room. Always when I laid down to go to sleep, and always when the room got cold. With each passing night, his voice only got louder and closer, as if the crazed man was camping right behind me. No matter what I did, he wouldn't stop. Leaving the lights and the TV on wouldn't help. The man still found a way into my mind. His confident, calm tone never wavered. And soon, his message became clearer. The chilling words more comprehensible. Come join me. See me. Look for me. Come die for me. I knew that he would say this all as a calculating challenge. One that I would never accept. There was no way I was ever going to look under the bed. And worst of all, the man knew my name. Cassie. His eerie voice would draw out. A week later, and the man's voice remained strong. Even with the lamp on, I was still terrified. I couldn't escape him. Like a frightened child, I cowered under the blankets. I closed my eyes, and for the first time in over a decade, I even prayed. Sweat stuck to my skin even in the freezing cold. My anxiety morphed into an uncontrollable fear. Emanating from under the bed, the man's persistent voice invaded my mind. All night long, Cassie, he'd call out, "Bring your family. Cassie, I want all of you. Bring them to bed for me." By the time 5 a.m. had arrived, I couldn't handle it. The voice, the torment, the threats. Everything weighed me down in this coffin of a mattress. No, I muttered. You know I'm real. And the man said, You're not crazy, Cassie. Clinging to the blankets, I kept my eyes shut. You're not real. And then a steady tapping erupted behind me. The tapping slow and unnerving in the rhythm of a madman's deranged hums. The noise too crude to be a short fingernail. Frightened, I looked around the room, too scared to speak. That's right, Cassie. The man teased. A claw ran down the wall behind me. A sharp slide, more piercing than any agonizing scream. The clawing far louder and closer than the man's voice had ever been. Paralyzed in fear, I looked towards the floor. If I jumped down, I would be inches away from the bottom of the bed, inches away from the man's hiding spot. A row of sharp claws slammed into the ground. I'm real, the man screamed. Fueled by adrenaline, I leaned down. The man's voice cut off as I looked under the bed. Rather than a monster, I came face to face with a human skull. Rotted flesh was so wedged in the eye sockets, and blood all around its wide open mouth. Crude claw marks ran wild on the rough bone. I lost it. An anguished scream poured from my lips. Like an alarm, I could hear my yell blare through the house. My bedroom door burst open, and Cynthia rushed towards me. Cassie, Cynthia cried. Leaning up, I held my hands out towards Cynthia and my parents. No, stay there, I pleaded. I could feel tears slide down my face like flowing streams. I could also feel warmth return to the room. Cassie, what's wrong? My mom yelled. I stole a glance out of the window. The rising sun was upon us. Daylight. The man's graveyard shift of torture had come to an end. For now, at least. Together, my parents and Cynthia calmed me down. Needless to say, my story freaked them all out, but I could tell that they didn't believe me. After all, they hadn't heard the man's voice. There was no skull beneath my bed. No long claw marks on the wall. That morning, nothing was left from the man's reign of terror except my traumatized mind. Over the next month, I no longer slept in that room. My hideaway had become a domain of dread. I could still read and seek solitude in there during the day, but never at night. Like a frightened villager, I would escape to Cynthia's room once the sun started going down. And right before I closed my bedroom door, I could hear the man's voice erupt from under the bed. Bring your family, he would demand in an angry yell. I would hide in Cynthia's room all night, and my parents thought that I was overreacting, but not Cyn. She knew how scared I was, or at least she believed I thought I saw something. In late June, we had family come over, our relatives from Boston. My aunt and uncle were going to be sleeping in Cynthia's room, but me, Cyn, and our cousin Tiana would have to sleep in mine. I did my best to stop the arrangement. I even offered to pay for a motel for our relatives, but no one would listen. Finally, Cynthia had to talk me into just giving in. Safety in numbers, Cassie, she told me. And I guess Cyn had a point. Plus me, her, and Tiana usually stayed up all night anyway. We would have each other's backs. Tiana was Cynthia's age, and like Cynthia, she was really pretty. Curly black hair and personality to spare. An athletic frame. Striking facial features. She had dreams of being an actress, and considering her age, I would say she had the inner drive and toughness to do whatever she wanted. And behind her South Boston toughness was a heart of gold. She had more empathy than most teens I knew with those looks. Like family sleepovers of yesteryear, the three of us camped out in my bedroom. At first, all of us sat on the floor and just talked most of the night. Cynthia's iPhones played our old jams. From time to time, the uneasy nerves would creep into me, the looming fear, especially once I saw darkness through the windows. But then Cynthia would comfort me. She always did her best to rescue me from myself. And as midnight got closer, I felt no fear, not as long as the three of us were together. Soon, we all got ready to lay down. Cynthia and I were on the bed, Tiana and a pallet on the floor. We left the lamp and the TV on. I even decided to wear earbuds, hoping that my cheesy music would drown out my fear. It actually worked for the most part. Through my Panic at the Disco medicine, I could hear Cynthia and Tiana talking to one another. Their cheerful laughter lightened my mood. For once, I was relaxed to be in my bedroom. I even closed my eyes. And then the music cut off. I heard no more bright guitars or heavy drums. Instead, that man came roaring back. "You did it, Cassie," his deep voice teased. Horrified, I opened my eyes and I looked over at Cynthia. She lay right beside me. Her and Tiana were still talking, both of them oblivious. A gush of cold air gave me chills. "You brought them to me," the man said in excitement. With a frightening flourish, the clawing erupted on the wall behind me. A vicious, brutal sound reminiscent of a knife excavating tough flesh. Cringing, I yanked out my earbuds. "Oh God!" Cynthia and Tiana gave me confused looks. The man unleashed a guttural laugh. "You brought your family, Cassie." "What's wrong?" Cynthia asked me. Panicking, I snatched her arm. "You don't hear him?" "No, Cassie, what's wrong?" "Yeah, I don't hear shit," Tiana said, unease conquering her Boston accent. "Now you're all in bed," the man said. The man's shrill cackle disturbed me. His claws slid down the walls once more. Together the noises formed a horrifying soundtrack, one that would never end. "With me," the man continued. Concerned, Cynthia leaned in towards me. "Cassie." The mattress sunk beneath us, like a collapsing waterbed. Pillows fell off. Cynthia and I felt ourselves lose control. We slid towards the end of our bed, the wooden footboard like a mouth ready to swallow us whole. Screaming, Cynthia gripped my arm. "Hold on," I told her. I saw my earbuds hit the footboard before falling straight down into the abyss we were careening towards, down towards the creepy man. "Thank you, Cassie," I heard the man yell. Straining, I struggled to pull Cynthia off the bed. The blankets and sheets stuck to us like quicksand. The more the bed collapsed, the closer we got to that final board. Tiana reached up towards us. "Hey!" she cried. Holding on to Cynthia, I strained to push her off the bed, off of this assembly line to hell. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a long hairy arm reach out from under the bed. The arm too bony and pale to be a wild animal's, too furry and disjointed to be a human. The angular hand flashed long, jagged claws for fingernails. With the speed of a wind-up toy, the arm moved in a crooked, slow fashion, right towards Tiana's leg. "Thank you for everything, Cassie," the man's deep voice whispered to me. "Tiana, look out!" I cried. Nervous, Tiana looked towards the arm. Her scream rang out just as the clawed hand snatched her ankle. "Oh shit!" she yelled. "Cassie!" I glanced towards the footboard. Cynthia and I were sinking in closer and closer towards it. With the strength of a desperate parent, I gave Cynthia one hard push. "Cassie!" she yelled. Right when I looked back at the board, I felt Cynthia's hand snatch my arm and give me a ferocious tug. Cynthia was always much stronger than me. Together we tumbled off the bed and landed near Tiana. Stuck in the man's grip, Tiana struggled to pull away. "Help me," she pleaded. Cynthia stomped down on the man's arm. Her gritted teeth and determined eyes only hinted at her brute strength, and she never let up until the man finally let go. Like a dying animal, the man's cries engulfed the room. His disjointed arm convulsed as if he had been shot. "Oh shit," Tiana cried in horror. I couldn't help but flash a relieved smile. Finally, someone else had heard the man under my bed. Cynthia grabbed Tiana and pulled her away. All three of us kept our distance from the arm. "What the hell was that?" Tiana said. Rolling back in a slow slither, the man's limb disappeared under the bed. His screams died down. "I don't know, but he's been in my room," I told Tiana and Cynthia. "We've always been in your room," the man whispered. My closet door slammed open. Like an open portal to hell, a collection of low groans poured from within. The voices beckoned us, called us. All of our names were whispered at once to form a haunting chorus. "Cassie, Cynthia, Tiana." One by one, my clothes shot out, and the closet door banged against the wall in a malevolent rhythm, and the voices never stopped calling for us. A harsh pounding hit the floor. Terrified, we faced the bed. Leaning out from under my bed, both the man's arms kept hitting the floor, the sound faster and more ferocious than a tribal beat. The collage of creepy noises swirled all around us. The man, the whispers, the closet door slamming against the wall. "Bring your family," the man said in anguished rage. Hungry for flesh, his hands ran along the floor. "Bring them, Cassie." "Come on," Cynthia yelled. She grabbed my arm and led us to the bedroom door. My frightened eyes stayed glued to the bed, toward the long arms clamoring for my flesh, and towards the guttural yells clamoring for my entire family. A pool of saliva began to form underneath the bed. Cynthia forced us out into the hallway, and she slammed the bedroom door behind us. In a frenzied panic, her and Tiana yelled for our parents. We made everybody wait until morning to go back inside, but we found nothing. No man, no saliva. Even the closet door was closed. All my clothes were back where they were. My bedroom, a literal snapshot of what it was the moment before all hell broke loose. Of course, I knew that everything would seem okay, but I didn't mind. I couldn't risk my parents or relatives going in at night and getting attacked by what we had encountered. And at least this time, no one could blame Crazy Cassie. Not when Tiana and Cynthia had both seen the same horror. Now I really wasn't alone. Like a shared passion, those horrifying memories would only make Cynthia and I even closer. I did convince my parents to let me move into Cynthia's room full time. Sure, there's not as much space for us now, but we know how to make it work. We are sisters. We're a team. And like Cynthia said, there's always safety in numbers. I felt better with her, more comfortable than I'd ever been. And I no longer hear the man or his eerie voice. He was gone with my unstable melancholy. Gone with Crazy Cassie.